Welcome to Cage Minds. I'm Mika Frankl, joined right now by the Silver City Strangler from Santa Fe, Josiah Reyes, ahead of LFA 133. Sir, how you doing? Well, we'll let you get the coffee in first, and then as we're waking up this morning, how you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing good. This warm cup of Joe is really helping me wake up, to be quite honest. So I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, I'm well. Thank you for the time. Glad to get to talk to you. It's been 7 months, I believe, since we've seen you in action. So I feel like we got a lot to get to here. Uh, how's life? How are you? How's everything? You were talking with me a moment ago. How's finding the balance going?
Um, yeah, it's been about 7 months since October already, which is crazy to think about how time flies. This year's been flying by. I was telling someone that usually January, goes by so horribly slow. I think it was because I was working at the state at CYFD. So that's probably a big part of why that felt like that. But man, this year, January, February just flew by, March even, like it's been flying by, man. I mean, I guess it's a sign of the times and just being busy, but the balance is tricky to find. It's tricky to find that balance. Like I was saying earlier, trying to find the nutritional balance is always like so much going into that, so much science, so much research, so much personal experience, so much experimenting. It's like you are what you eat, what do you put in your body? That's exactly what you are. And so I'm trying to find that. I've been doing plant-based for a while mostly, but I'll still like eat meat when I go out, to restaurants or my dad's house, of course. But but I've been trying the plant-based thing and it's been good. It's like kind of tricky to find the right proteins, you got to find the right proteins. So been doing like a lot of pea protein in those eggs, those soft-boiled eggs. And then just the rest, trying to get a good sleep routine is so tricky for people who are more like night owl based and not morning based. It's very tricky to find that sleep balance. And then I mean, it's just, I work in that field of behavioral health and we crammed into them like, you got your mental health, your behavioral health, spiritual health, I forgot some of the other ones. Physical health is a super important one. So yeah, man, I'm trying to do all the balance, spiritual health. Like I'm still like I study my Bible, try to in the mornings. I got it right here. Try to hit the Proverbs in the morning, get my mind right. Um, I don't know, man. It's hard to find the balance. I don't really go out. I'm not a social person, so I don't ever like go out or anything. And I got my drum set right here, which keeps me a lot of company when I'm needing to move, and I got some guitars here too. So I'm trying, man. I'm trying to do those dishes. That's the hardest thing is do the dishes every day. That's the hardest part of the balance is doing the kitchen.
And how much of your daily routine is being creative, something outside of the balance, but it's just being creative, as you point out right there, guitars, the drum set. We know there's a lot of training. So how much of your day is about being creative?
That's a great question. I didn't realize it's a lot of the day to be happy for me. I have I need to be creative and like even in training people, if I'm like mundane, it gets boring for the person and for me. So I try to keep my trainings creative if I'm training somebody. And then if I'm training, I try to keep it light. Like the ties, if you watch them, they're always having fun and playing around. And I'm trying to keep it light and keep it playful, and creating new combinations, and new styles, new techniques, just having an open mind. But yeah, man, I keep realizing I'll go weeks without playing guitar or even longer. And I'm like, oh man, something feels wrong. And then I'll finally hop on my guitar and and then I feel like night and day, totally different, just so much better. What the heck? I got my first guitar right here. I actually check it out. This was the very, this was like the thing that kind of brought me into existence here. My friend Frank in Silver City. He's like, just buy a guitar, we'll start a band, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't know. I worked all summer as a plumber with my dad, and I'm like, I got this money, got like $500 to my name as like 16 years old. I'm like, I don't know, man, it's a lot of money. So I'll just do it. We'll start this PV, and then I gave it to a singer of mine in a metal band I had. And then I asked for it back. Like 5 years later, I was like, hey, I don't know if you play that guitar, but that was my first guitar. And if you give it back to me, I'll buy you a different guitar instead. So I managed to get her back. And I'm just, man, I've been writing so much ever since I left CYFD. I wrote like, I think I've written 7 or 8 songs, and I have them recorded very roughly. So I got all this stuff on the back burner I'm waiting to do musically after all this, but I need to find ways to incorporate it.
I'm still saying you got to walk out to one of your own tunes.
Oh yeah, Walkout Song. Yeah, I have some that I'm like teetering on doing, but it's such a special thing, to pick a walkout song to me that I don't know when or which, but I will for sure. I have some like I've been this close to doing, but there's that band August Burns Red. They have such a special place in my life, and their songs are really powerful. The lyrics are super deep, and I'm probably gonna pick another one of theirs. I try to pick a song based on like how the camp has, like how the last few months of life has been, and I try to pick a song to summarize all of that. So I don't know which one is gonna be this time, but yeah, it's like that's like one of the biggest parts of it for me is picking that walkout song.
Does it feel like it's been 7 months since you competed?
Honestly, it feels like a long time, man. It's been, dude, after that 2 months, I was kind of sick. Like I had my body, redline after that. And so I came back and I hit the ground running. We had the kids tournament on that following weekend. And we had a Halloween party for the kids too, which was when we do parties for those kids class, it's like 50 or 60 kids on the mat. And we did a Halloween contest, a costume contest, and piñata too. It was just so crazy. And then that tournament, oh man, I was ill for like a month or so. Actually, probably 2 months. That was probably the hardest 2 months of my life, to be honest. I was so freaking sick, and I wasn't getting better because I just kept trying to go, 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 go. And then the holidays came up, and man, it was horrible. It was terrible. So that happened, and then I've just been kind of building back from there. So yeah, it feels like a long time has passed, to be honest. And then at the same time, it feels like really quick. I was thinking we were going to hit it in February. I thought I was already going to be back in the mix, hit running, but life is just, man, it just takes you, and sometimes you're just like, I don't know if you ever jumped in a river before here whenever it's like monsoon season, which is really dangerous to do. You should never do it. But I did it in the Gila River, and it took me like 2 miles down in a period of just like a few moments. And I was super scared because I couldn't do anything. I couldn't touch the bottom with my feet. And there was like sticks sticking out like that everywhere. And I'm just like floating like, man, I'm at the will of the river right now. But that's kind of how it's felt the last few months. So I've been, still training, still studying, still just trying to like not force things in time. I had this wise doctor tell me that it's all stages of life. He's like, you might feel like you should be in this point in your 20s or in your 30s. You should have done this, or why haven't I done this? And he's like, it's just stages of life for everybody. He's like, for me in my 20s, I was trying to get my own practice. He's like a psychiatrist. And like, I was trying to get my own practice, and it wasn't time. And then in my 30s, I met somebody who introduced me to this and that. And then I got my practice going in my 30s. So ever since then, I've just been like, it's just like stages of life, like I I look at everyone and they have like families and kids and houses, and they're doing really well, and I'm just like, man, shouldn't I be having kids in a house and like, you know what I mean, being stable and all that? And I'm just like, well, maybe that's going to be in my 40s. I don't know, but I'm trying not to look to rush it, or just be like, oh, I got to fight like right away, or I'm missing time, or I'm getting old. And I don't know, I'm just trying to enjoy the moment more, and enjoy training, and enjoy the camp, and enjoy, I guess, the experience of it.
You get the win over Acevedo. Were you surprised that you got sick? Were you surprised when everything kind of started going, I guess, downhill a little bit?
I was surprised that I didn't get better, because I've been sick like for weeks at a time, quite a bit in my life for sure. But this was like, I was like almost better so many different times, like that, like this close to getting better. And then I would just push it too much and push it again and push it again and get right back down. And, man, like now I know better, I learned a lot about, hey, like you will redline your body. I've always known like there's a red line, and you cross that line, your body's like, you're going to get sick. I'm telling you right now, if you go ahead and do that, I can't help you anymore. You're going to get sick. So I've always known that, especially in camp. In camp, you're like so fragile. Like man, your immune system is toast. But after, that's the thing I didn't think about, was after I finished and I'm like, okay, I'm good. I don't have to do anything for like a little while. And I just was go, 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 go. I'm good. I did it. I'm done. I can just go, go, go. And now people were like telling me, hey, you need a plan for the weeks after the fight. How do you recover properly? Because your body is really jacked up. So now I know, okay, after this, I'm going to take a week and just rest. You gotta just rest.
Over the last 7 months, that's one of the biggest adjustments or lessons that you've learned, you'd say? What are some of the others?
The rest for sure is always crammed into I think a lot of athletes and just go-getters don't do that properly. So that's been a big one. And then really just that balance we were talking about, trying to find that balance of like a routine. When I need to go to bed at a certain time every night, or at least aim for a certain time. I feel like a child. Like I feel like I'm a child, and I'm parenting myself. I'm like, you need to go to bed between this time and this time. You need to make sure and you eat a good, healthy breakfast before you leave and pack your lunch. So
Well, that's all important.
I'm just, yeah, it is. It's super important. You don't think about it as a kid. You just want to have fun. And now I got all these fun things. I got drums and guitars. I got a piano right here, even too, sitting next to me. So I got all these things. If I can get, that's what I've noticed about high functioning athletes or anybody. If you can get like a really good routine down of your sleep, your diet, your exercise, and your productivity. And the other thing, I've been really working on managing my money properly. Excuse me, I have an app, Every Dollar by Dave Ramsey. And it's just, you put in how much you make a month. You put in how much you spend a month on everything. And you have to make that come out to zero. And that can include savings and giving, everything. You have to make it come out to zero. And then you track it throughout the month. Okay, I have $300 for food this month. I spent $50 at Trader Joe's. Okay, enter that in, and it's like, okay, you have $250 left for your month for food. So I've been trying to do that, and even just doing it and like writing it down, the money goes so much further just from writing it down, let alone tracking it. And then when you track it, it's like, dang, I have 10 times as much money as I thought I had, pretty much. So the money one's been a big one for me. I balance all of those things: food, nutrition, sleep, social life. It's just hard. You got to learn how to say no.
I've been learning how to say no a lot more, and I'm okay with that, and I'm really learning who's like how valuable it is to have people that are friends, like man, people on your team, like they're, you trust them with your life, literally. You put your life in their hands, and then on top of that, now I know I could put a lot more than my life in their hands, and I've never had that. So I feel very, very blessed to have like this team of people that I have.
We haven't touched on it. We've kind of mentioned the name a couple times, but Lorvig Acevedo, another first round finish on your part 7 months ago. Do you remember how it felt walking out of the cage? What the sense of accomplishment was, how you felt about that performance?
Yeah, I do. It was special because some of my clients drive up there. So I have an 11 and 12-year-old that I've been training, brothers, and they drove all the way up there that day. My girlfriend and her daughter drove up too, and she was 9 at the time, or 8 at the time. So that was super cool for her to see that. It's crazy, man. It's like a relief that it's over, and it's like, okay, I don't have to do this for like a little while. This is the furthest point I am from having to do this again, which sounds crazy, but that's like one of the reliefs that I feel. It's like the same thing to teaching the kids class on Thursdays, where I'm like, okay, I just finished teaching kids class Thursday. This is the furthest point I'm going to be from having to teach it again on Tuesday. But no, that class is great. But I mean, man, it's hard to capture the feeling. Honestly, it really is. It's just a lot, overwhelming feelings happening at once. But I mean, it's a relief. It really is a relief for sure. It's crazy, man. It's such a strange thing. It's just crazy. Everything about it is strange. The days leading up to it, the day of, it's just strange.
And what's the thoughts heading
Very
into LFA 133? Bayanduuren Gantumur, I think, is your opponent. I'm not sure how to say that name.
Yeah. I already forgot. Bayanduuren Gantumur, I want to say.
Yes,
Yeah,
sounds
he's a
great.
Mongolian. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought I had it pretty close. Mongolian grappling, probably good grappling sambo guy. Looks like he likes to get that top ground and pound, which is cool. I mean, I'm happy to test myself against different strengths. I mean, that's one reason why I do this. When people ask me, why are you risking your brain and your body, your brain and your body, I'm like, well, that's a good question. It's very dangerous. I mean, there's a lot of dangerous things we do. Driving is super dangerous. It's like the most dangerous thing we do is drive. People get hurt bad in driving, but I'm very competitive, so I really enjoy testing myself on tough competition. And of course, I love to win, and I want to win. I don't like to lose. I hate losing from a childhood. But yeah, this is just another problem. It's a new problem. It's a new set of strengths. It's a new set of skills. It is kind of exciting to face someone outside of the country, because now it gives me a sense of like, man, this is my country against his country. This is I know it's not necessarily like that, but in a way it is. And it's also like, this is like my state against him. Like, it's like New Mexico fighting Mongolia, in a way. And then it's even like, man, it's like my little city of Silver City, it's a little tiny little mountain town fighting some dude from across the world, from probably a little mountain town as well. So it's just interesting. I mean, it's really cool. That's really fun for me to have that extra, I guess, motivation and challenge of somebody out of country like that, abroad. And even like strength and conditioning, I was fading bad last week, and I just started like getting that drive from I was screaming Mongolia and just hitting my strength and conditioning. I'm just like screaming it like as loud as I can, Mongolia, and just hitting, and then it gave me like a new burst of energy. And my training partner was just like, this guy's a little crazy, but I mean, I think everybody knows people are kind of crazy if you're doing that sort of thing. But yeah, it's interesting. It's really, I'm happy to face, you know, such a, I mean, I think they're known for having like a warrior type of mentality, a historical warness. I can't think of the proper word, but combat, you know, is in their history, and I feel like it's in mine as well. I don't really know my genealogy that far back, but I feel like it was probably like that. And I see a lot of fighters, and you look in their eyes and you're like, oh man, you could tell that probably their ancestors were fighting to the death, you know, and it's just crazy to think about that, man.
Do you feel like you've developed more of an edge now as a professional than what you had as an amateur competitor?
I mean, I definitely gotten smarter and like better fight IQ, I should say. And that helps a lot. And then the strength and conditioning, my strength and conditioning has given me an edge compared to when I was an amateur for sure. And I'm like just scratching the surface on my strength and conditioning still, I feel. And then technique wise, I mean, I have grown, you know, in grappling a lot. I've grown a lot in wrestling. I've grown so much in wrestling. My grappling has gotten better. Wrestling has gotten way better. My clinch has gotten better. My striking has for sure gotten better as well. I mean, everything's gotten better. And then I guess just putting it all together with good fight IQ, and then like really footwork and balance. I've been studying a lot of Trevor Whitman and just having better footwork and balance. Just MMA, just putting it all together, man. I do feel like I have a better edge than I did, but man, I'm still just, again, comes back to being competitive. Is I've learned all of these things, and now I'm like, okay, how do they pan out? If I test them in the highest stress way that's sanctioned, then how do they pan out? And that's one reason why I like to do this. And then I wasn't that good in school. I kind of fumbled away my a lot of my college time in my 20s. And now that I'm preparing for, you know, a fight, I mean, just cram. Oh, I got a final exam coming up. Cram. Learn as much as you can. Train. If I would have taken school this seriously, I would have learned a lot. But now I just need that motivation to learn. And school, there's no motivation. There's not a lot of motivation to learn and enjoy it and cram. But in this education, school of, you know, hard knocks or fighting, I mean, geez, there's no better motivation to learn. So I'm cramming, and I'm enjoying every bit of it, instead of being like, oh no, I gotta train, I gotta learn, I'm stressed out, and I'm sore, and I'm tired, and I don't want to go to Albuquerque, or I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. Now I'm like, this is really cool, you know, like I could be in a cubicle in the basement right now, or I could be, you know, studying something I don't want to study, or I could be studying like something I really enjoy, which is these martial arts. So yeah, man, I feel like I'm getting an edge, and I feel like I'm going to continue to sharpen that edge, you know. I have a good open mind, and and I'm just like learning as much as I can from a lot of these really wise people. And I love watching fights too and studying. So I just love it, man. It's cool to find something that you love like this.
He's Josiah Reyes, unbeaten at 3-0. We're going to see him for the first time in 7 months back in the cage at LFA 133. Thank you for joining me this morning for a cup of coffee, sir.
Hey, thank you, man. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. I hope everybody is very entertained as well. Just give a shout out. Thanks to my coaches, my team. Jerome, once again, has been like taking on that head coach role for me, the Renegade. And damn, what a stand-up job he's doing, man. He's got a wealth of knowledge, experience, and I'm reaping all of the benefits. He's such a good teacher. He's such a good coach. He's a damn good friend. He's a good father. I mean, I think most people that know him can say a million good things about him, and I'm one of those people, and I'm just very blessed to enjoy his time, his company, his wealth of information. I got our gym in Santa Fe is legit. You got to come and like visit and train and do some interviews and do some hang out, man, because it's good. We got the Sanai Warrior over there, and teaching. He's got his black belt last year or this year, so he's been holding the fort down for us, teaching jiu-jitsu. We got the Destroyer Montoya still there, giving us some wrestling, some jiu-jitsu. Professor Sergio, our main professor, he's dropping the knowledge. So we got so many people, Vanilla Gorilla there, Corey, and all these young, hungry guys, who are like, oh, I want that. I want to be that. I want to do that. How can I fight? They're all coming in all hungry too. So yeah, shout out to all my team, all the friends, all the teammates in Albuquerque, coaches down there. Very, very appreciative of you guys. And I hope you guys have an entertaining show next Friday. Should be a lot of fun. I'm trying to remember this is entertainment, so I'm trying to go in there and like entertain people. It is supposed to be entertainment. Like I listen to a lot of Rogan and they're comedians, and they're like, man, these people are getting babysitters. They're working their ass off, and they're spending money to go buy tickets to be entertained. They're taking time to go be entertained, and I do want to entertain people, and I value that people are spending their time and money to watch us fight each other. So I do want to try to bring some entertainment to the fans.
I haven't seen you in a boring fight, all right?
I appreciate that. I'm glad to hear that. I don't want to have that happen, hopefully, but want to be safe.
Get the win. Get the win. That's most important, all right?
That's the most important thing, is get the win, and then we'll entertain you guys. Hopefully both at the same time.
It's great getting to talk to you again, sir.
You as well, Micah. Have a great rest of your week.